And I happened to walk into a nightclub one night where she was performing, and she didn't know I was there. And she was up on stage, and she said, "This is a song that I wrote that David Allan Coe stole from me." So I've never, actually she had a terrible song.
David Allan Coe's life was a roller coaster of victories and disappointments. Coe, known for his outlaw persona and rebellious spirit, disregarded traditions to carve his own path in the music industry. Join us as we delve into the highs and lows of Coe's career, from chart-topping singles to contentious underground albums. We'll look at the story behind his most famous songs and his influence on country music as a whole. Early life. Coe was born in Akron, Ohio on September 6, 1939. Growing up, his favorite performer was Johnny Ace. However, life took a turn for the worse when he was taken to a reform school at the age of 9. From there, he spent much of his youth in penal facilities, including a lengthy stay at the Ohio Penitentiary. During these trying times, Coe found refuge in music, and fellow inmate Screamin' Jay Hawkins urged him to begin writing songs. After serving his prison sentence in 1967, Coe opted to pursue a singing career in Nashville. With little money, he lived in a hearse parked outside the Ryman Auditorium and made a living by busking on the streets. Shelby Singleton recognized his natural talent and signed him to Plantation Records. In addition to his musical career, Coe was a member of the Louisville, Kentucky-based Outlaws Motorcycle Club. He is also the father of Tyler Mahan Coe, who is well known for his podcast, Cocaine and Rhinestones, which delves into the rich history of country music. Despite his accomplishments, Coe has struggled financially, reportedly paying more than $300,000 in child support. Early career. David Allan Coe made his musical debut in 1970 with the release of his debut album, Penitentiary Blues. This was the start of a journey that would change the face of country music. As he embarked on a tour with Grand Funk Railroad, Coe's raw skill and distinct approach began to grab fans. The following year, in October 1971, Coe secured an exclusive contract with Pete and Rose Drake's publishing company, Windows Publishing Company, headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee. Despite not attaining rapid, widespread success as a solo singer, Coe's songwriting abilities immediately became known. Other musicians achieved commercial success by recording Coe-penned songs, such as Billy Joe Spears' interpretation of Souvenirs and California Memories, and Tanya Tucker's legendary smash, Would You Lay With Me, in a Field of Stone, which peaked at number 1 on the charts in 1973. In 1975, Columbia Records released Coe's second album, Once Upon a Rhyme, which accelerated his rise in the music industry. This album demonstrated Coe's versatility as a musician and desire to experiment with many styles within the country genre. One of the album's notable tracks was You Never Even Called Me By My Name, which was penned by Steve Goodman and John Prine. Coe's performance of the song became his first country top 10 smash single, reaching number 8 on the charts. The song's funny premise, combined with Coe's unusual voice, struck a chord with audiences and cemented his place as a rising star in the country music scene. The story behind You Never Even Called Me By My Name lends another depth of appeal to Coe's journey. Goodman initially quipped that the song was the perfect country and western song, but Coe disagreed. He believed that a true country song should contain references to classic topics such as mother, trains, trucks, prison, and getting drunk. In response, Goodman created an extra verse that included all of Coe's criteria, prompting Coe to praise the song as the pinnacle of country music perfection. 1975 was a watershed moment for Coe when he appeared in the critically acclaimed documentary film Heart-Worn Highways by James Salapsky. The documentary highlighted a generation of groundbreaking country musicians, including Guy Clark, Townes Van Zandt, Rodney Crowell, and Steve Earle, among others. Coe's appearance in the film highlighted his growing prominence in the outlaw country movement and cemented his reputation as a visionary musician stretching the boundaries of traditional country music. During this time, Coe continued to broaden his artistic horizons, engaging with legendary musicians like Johnny Cash. Coe wrote the song Cocaine Carolina for Cash's 1975 album John R. Cash, and also sang background vocals on the record. This cooperation reinforced Coe's status as a prolific songwriter, while also contributing to the success of Cash's album. Coe's third album, The Mysterious Rhinestone Cowboy, was published in 1975 and was a watershed moment in his career. The CD reflected Coe's growth as an artist and his dedication to stretching the boundaries of traditional country music. The album's title, The Mysterious Rhinestone Cowboy, emphasized Coe's unconventional persona, as he was known for wearing lavish rhinestone outfits and a Lone Ranger mask during his performances. Coe's particular stage character was inspired by interactions with other performers, such as Mel Tillis, who owned a closet full of rhinestone suits. Coe's interest in Tillis's attire inspired him to adopt a similar look, which became linked with his image as the rhinestone cowboy. Furthermore, Coe ascribed the concept of wearing a mask during performances to his father, who compared it to the anonymity enjoyed by the Lone Ranger when he removed his mask. His music appealed to audiences not only for its genuineness, but also for its courage to face taboo issues and question societal standards. The outlaw years. In the late 1970s and early 80s, a musical revolution was emerging on the country music scene. This was the age of outlaw country, a movement defined by performers who rejected the polished Nashville sound in favor of a raw, gritty approach to their music. Icons such as Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson spearheaded this movement, paving the way for a new generation of country rebels. Among these rebels was David Allan Coe, a singer-songwriter who personified the outlaw spirit like no other. With his long hair, showy clothes, and rebellious attitude, Coe was a true outcast in the country music industry. While singers such as Jennings and Nelson had commercial success, Coe struggled to obtain recognition for his distinct style of music. Coe's third album, Long-Haired Redneck, embodied the outlaw mentality. The album, released in 1976, featured Coe's own compositions and reflected his rebellious character. The title track, Long-Haired Redneck, offered a vivid picture of life on the outskirts of society, with lyrics that addressed the challenges of outcasts and misfits. Despite its unique sound, the album resonated with audiences who appreciated its genuineness and honesty. As the outlaw movement gathered traction, Coe found himself in the thick of the action. He crossed paths with legends such as Jennings and Nelson, solidifying his reputation as a significant role in the outlaw country scene. However, not everyone greeted Coe with open arms. Some writers dismissed him as a gimmick, a parody of the outlaw stereotype, but Coe refused to adapt to anyone's expectations, proudly acknowledging his outsider position. Coe's contributions to the outlaw country genre are evident. His albums like Human Emotions and Spectrum 7th pushed the boundaries of traditional country music, delving into topics of love, sorrow, and redemption with unwavering honesty. Songs like Take This Job and Shove It resonated with working-class audiences, establishing Coe as a voice for the disenfranchised. However, Coe's route to success was not without hurdles. Despite his talent and passion, he struggled to enter the mainstream. The country music industry regarded him with distrust because of his unorthodox image and defiant attitude. Coe's reluctance to follow the rules gained him both lovers and adversaries. But he remained loyal to himself, even as the music industry attempted to shape him into someone he was not. As the outlaw country movement waned in the early 1980s, Coe found himself at a crossroads. The advent of the urban cowboy phenomenon marked a transition in the country music landscape, with sleek, polished productions supplanting the rough-around-the-edges sound of the outlaw days. However, Coe refused to be marginalized by trends and continued to create music on his own terms. His album, DAC, released in 1982, demonstrated his tenacity and commitment. In the liner notes, Coe acknowledged the difficulties he experienced as an artist and expressed gratitude to his devoted followers who had stood by him through thick and thin. The album's final suite, a trio of songs dedicated to his devoted fans, exemplified Coe's rebellious spirit and persistent dedication to his craft. In the years since, Coe has continued to defy expectations, establishing his own way in the ever-changing landscape of country music. While he may not have had the same amount of public success as some of his contemporaries, his impact on the genre was unmistakable. The 1980s. David Allan Coe staged a surprising comeback after enduring difficulties in getting attention for his distinct style and rebellious demeanor. Coe climbed to notoriety through a string of successful albums and hit songs during this time. One of Coe's most important albums was Castles in the Sand, released in 1983. It served as a watershed moment in his career. The album peaked at number 8 on the country albums list, becoming Coe's highest charting album since Once Upon a Rhyme, about a decade ago. Its success was mostly driven by the lead song The Ride, which created a sensation in and of itself. The Ride charmed audiences with its gripping story and melancholy melody. The song describes a hitchhiker's encounter with the ghost of country music superstar Hank Williams Sr. while traveling from Montgomery, Alabama to Nashville, Tennessee. As the strange driver quizzes the narrator about his musical ambitions, the song explores themes of skill, dedication, and the pull of fame. With its vivid visuals and emotive storytelling, The Ride captivated listeners, garnering considerable acclaim and economic success. Following the success of Castles in the Sand, Coe proceeded to top the charts with successive releases, accord with fans, and rose to number 2 on the Billboard Country Singles chart. Coe's superb narrative and expressive singing charmed listeners, cementing his reputation as an exceptional storyteller and performer. Just Divorced also demonstrated Coe's flexibility as a performer, with songs like Missing the Kid, exploring themes of grief, regret, and familial estrangement. The song vividly depicts a father's longing for his daughter, who now lives with his estranged ex-wife. Through genuine lyrics and soulful delivery, Coe depicts the emotional anguish of broken family dynamics, capturing listeners' hearts with his real honesty and sensitivity. She Used to Love Me a Lot is another standout track in Coe's repertoire during this time period. The song, released in 1984, explores the intricacies of former relationships as well as the passing of time. Coe's moving interpretation evokes the bittersweet memories of a fortuitous meeting of former lovers at a cafe. His determination to push the envelope and challenge traditions garnered him critical recognition and financial success. Albums like Son of the South, which featured collaborations with fellow outlaw icons Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Jesse Coulter, cemented Coe's status as a genre pioneer. Coe's final album for Columbia, A Matter of Life and Death, marked the end of a decade of pushing the frontiers of his talent. The concept album, released in 1987, explores existential issues such as mortality, spirituality, and the human condition. Coe delves into the depths of human experience with introspective lyrics and evocative melodies, providing listeners with a heartbreaking meditation on the ephemeral aspect of existence. David Allan Coe's financial success in the 1980s demonstrates his ongoing talent and artistic vision. Late career. David Allan Coe remained a prominent player in the country music scene for most of his career, from the 1990s to the present, participating in a variety of projects and collaborations while continuing to fascinate audiences with his live performances. During the 1990s, Coe returned to some of his previous works, reissuing his indie albums Nothing Sacred and Underground album on compact disc, as well as the compilation 18 X-rated hits. These CDs introduced new listeners to Coe's boundary-pushing music and reinforced his image as a daring and uncompromising artist. Throughout the decade, Coe had a hectic touring schedule, entertaining audiences with thrilling live acts in the United States and Europe. His performances displayed his powerful stage presence and unparalleled storytelling abilities, resulting in a devoted fan base drawn to his raw sincerity and unabashed attitude. In 1999, Coe began a revolutionary collaboration with Dimebag Darrell, the iconic guitarist from the heavy metal band Pantera. Recognizing the connections between country music and heavy metal, Coe and Darrell collaborated to produce an album that defied genre conventions and pushed the boundaries of musical expression. The project, titled Rebel Meets Rebel, was recorded intermittently between 1999 and 2003 and released in 2006, 2 years after Darrell's tragic death. The album was well praised for its original blend of country and metal elements, cementing Coe's position as a trailblazing artist willing to experiment with new sounds and styles. In addition to his work with Dimebag Darrell, Coe made waves in the mainstream music scene with his appearance on Kid Rock's self-titled album in 2003. Coe penned the song Single Father for Kid Rock, which appeared on the album and was released as a single. The song received notice for its genuine lyrics and dramatic narration, landing Coe on the Billboard Country Singles list and demonstrating his relevance in the ever-changing environment of country music. Despite his sustained success as a recording artist, Coe encountered criticism and controversy in the early 2000s when a journalist from the New York Times wrote a critical article about his music. The journalist labeled Coe's songs as racist, misogynistic, homophobic, and vulgar, causing debate and controversy in the music business. However, Coe insisted that his music was frequently misunderstood and distorted by critics, protecting his artistic integrity and creative freedom. Coe's influence and impact on the world of country music have long been obvious. In 2006, he made an unforgettable appearance in the music video for Johnny Cash's God's Gonna Cut You Down, presenting Cash as the Man in Black and paying respect to the iconic singer-songwriter. Coe's contributions to the video emphasized his standing as a renowned figure in the country music world, both for his contributions to the genre and for his lasting legacy as a true outlaw musician. In recent years, Coe has continued to produce songs and collaborate with other musicians, exhibiting his versatility and adaptability as a musician. His presence on the Moonshine Bandits album Baptized in Bourbon in 2017 demonstrated his ongoing appeal and continuous significance as a true legend of the genre. Outlaw origins. David Allan Coe, a legendary figure in country music, forged his own path in the industry with his outspoken personality and boundary-pushing music. His path as an outlaw artist began with controversy and disobedience, laying the groundwork for a career defined by authenticity, revolt, and artistic integrity. One watershed moment in Coe's early career occurred when his story of spending time on death row for murdering an inmate who attempted to rape him was refuted. Instead, it was revealed that he had only spent time on minor charges. Despite this revelation, Coe maintained his claim to be a founding member of the outlaw country movement. He described a scene at the 48-hour outdoor concert in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he, along with Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, made a dramatic entrance on stage while wearing Outlaw's motorcycle club colors and carrying a weapon in his pocket. This daring act, Coe claimed, sparked the outlaw country era, cementing his status as a musical rebel. Coe's refusal to comply extended to his music, which frequently explored contentious topics and challenged social standards. In songs like The House We've Been Calling Home, from his album Rides Again, he addressed the issue of polygamy, reflecting his unusual lifestyle and beliefs. Furthermore, his song If That Ain't Country, I'll Kiss Your Ass, sparked outrage for its racially charged lyrics, which included the use of a racial slur. Despite being accused of racism, Coe defended his songwriting as a form of artistic expression, reflecting on his upbringing and cultural influences. He claimed that his use of stereotypes was intended to portray a realistic picture, not to promote intolerance. One of the most contentious moments in Coe's career occurred with the release of his 1986 album Son of the South, which portrayed him holding a baby with a Confederate flag draped over his shoulders on the cover. This image provoked outrage and charges of racism in the music business. Coe responded by including a letter on the back of the record that clarified his intentions while also expressing pride in his personal relationships and upbringing. Despite the uproar surrounding the album cover, Coe remained consistent in defending his identity and ideals, stating that he was not opposed to any one group or nationality. In interviews, Coe vigorously refuted accusations of racism, emphasizing his personal experiences and encounters with individuals of many origins. He highlighted his time in prison, where he developed friendships and musical collaborations with people of all colors. Coe's appearance and lifestyle, complete with dreadlocks, earrings, and a braided beard, further defied stereotypes. He expressed dissatisfaction with being labeled a racist based on his artistic expression, underlining the absurdity of being accused of racism despite his personal background and relationships. Despite criticism and controversy, Coe remained unrepentant about his talent and continued to challenge stereotypes in the country music industry. His courage to speak up and question the status quo cleared the path for subsequent generations of artists to freely express themselves. Underground albums. David Allan Coe's underground records are a contentious yet significant part of his musical career. It all started in Key West when he was introduced to Shel Silverstein's comedy album Freakin' at the Freakers' Ball. This piqued Coe's interest in comedy songs, prompting him to sing his own and attracting the notice of Silverstein, who urged him to record his stuff. This support led to Coe's independently published album Nothing Sacred, which appeared in 1978 via mail order in the back pages of the biker magazine Easy Riders. However, Coe's foray into underground culture was not without controversy. Jimmy Buffett accused Coe of stealing the tune from his song Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes for his track Divers Do It Deeper. In reaction, Coe wrote a nasty song about Buffett, which ended up on Nothing Sacred. Despite the legal threats, the record became popular, cementing Coe's reputation as a bold artist willing to confront taboo issues. Coe's second album, Spectrum 7th, was released by Columbia Records in 1979 and continued his trend of pushing boundaries. The album had profane and sexually explicit content, such as depictions of an orgy in Nashville's Centennial Park and contacts with pornographic film queen Linda Lovelace. In addition, one single targeted Anita Bryant, an artist known for her vehement opposition to LGBT rights. Coe's song, titled Expletive Anita Bryant, chastised Bryant for her acts and controversial opinions. Coe published the Underground album in 1982, which included songs like Little Susie Shallow Throat and Rock and Roll Fever, both of which contained explicit themes and provoked criticism. The album's profane nature highlighted Coe's willingness to defy societal standards and push the boundaries of acceptable content. During this time, Coe's relationship with Jimmy Buffett remained tense, culminating in Coe smashing into Buffett's car with his Jeep, resulting in a legal lawsuit. Despite the dispute, Coe maintained his contentious stance and proceeded to express his thoughts through music. In 1990, Coe reissued Nothing Sacred and Underground album on compact disc as the compilation 18X Rated Hits, marking another chapter in his underground music career. The reissue allowed a new generation of listeners to engage with Coe's unorthodox content, further cementing his status as a boundary-pushing performer. Coe's controversial tracks did not detract from his standing as a key player in the country music world. His ability to address contentious issues and speak candidly about societal taboos demonstrated his artistic freedom and commitment to expressing himself honestly. David Allan Coe's underground recordings highlight a turbulent yet significant phase in his career. Coe encountered various hurdles in pushing the frontiers of artistic expression, including accusations of plagiarism and bigotry. The years of bankruptcy. David Allan Coe, a well-known country music musician, had a financial fight with the IRS, just like Willie Nelson and Jerry Lee Lewis. This dispute eventually resulted in Coe losing the rights to his songs, including his well-known song, Take This Job and Shove It. In 2003, Coe stated that all of his songs before 1984 had been sold in a bankruptcy proceeding for a measly $25,000. Surprisingly, Coe was ignorant of the deal until it was too late. The IRS believed Coe owed them $100,000, but he couldn't give verification of his holdings because a flood destroyed his papers. Consequently, Coe had no choice but to declare bankruptcy. Unlike Willie Nelson, who elected to negotiate with the IRS, Coe preferred to handle his own financial problems. He concentrated on re-establishing his financial security, relying entirely on revenue from touring and his new compositions, which he still owned. In a separate interview, Coe stated that all of the tracks on his X-rated albums had been auctioned off, implying that he no longer owned or controlled the material. Despite this loss, he was nonetheless credited as a songwriter, but received no financial recompense for those tunes. This loss exposes Coe's financial difficulties and their impact on his creative production and legacy in the music industry. Coe's story is a cautionary tale on the value of financial management and respecting one's rights as an artist. Despite his setbacks, Coe persisted and continued to create music, relying on his talent and drive to support his career. His narrative serves as a reminder of the difficulties many musicians encounter when navigating the complexities of the music industry, as well as the need to protect one's creative work. While the loss of his publishing rights was clearly a blow, Coe's reputation as a pioneering country music performer lives on, with his songs still resonating with listeners worldwide. David Allan Coe's life story is a tapestry of resilience, rebellion, and artistic innovation. Coe's journey from a troubled upbringing to his achievements as a renowned artist is a monument to his perseverance and passion for music. Born on September 6, 1939, in Akron, Ohio, Coe had a difficult childhood, which included a stint in reform school at the age of 9 and subsequent periods in correctional facilities until his early 20s. Despite his troubles, Coe found comfort in music, teaching himself to play guitar and singing. His musical ability eventually caught the attention of Sun Records, which marked the beginning of his career. Coe was imprisoned at the Ohio Penitentiary in 1959 for auto theft and armed robbery, where he performed for the correctional institution's radio station and composed music. After his release in 1967, he moved to Nashville and began singing on street corners, attracting the notice of Shelby Singleton, the owner of Plantation Records. His debut album, Penitentiary Blues, was released by Singleton in 1969 and was inspired by his experiences in prison. The album established Coe's distinct storytelling approach, and he rapidly became a rising star in the country music market. Coe's personal life and relationships were complicated. He was married 7 times and had 5 children, including his renowned son, Allan Coe, who founded the popular podcast Cocaine and Rhinestones. Despite his turbulent romantic life, Coe's passion for music was unrelenting, and he continued to write and perform throughout his career. His collaborations with other musicians, such as Dimebag Darrell of Pantera and Kid Rock, demonstrated his versatility and willingness to experiment with different sounds and genres. Throughout his life, Coe's unwavering dedication to his craft and determination to remain true to himself distinguished him as a true outlaw in the world of country music. Despite setbacks and controversies, he persisted in producing music that reflected his experiences and viewpoints. David Allan Coe's impact on country music cannot be overstated. His ability to push boundaries, challenge societal standards, and explore unorthodox themes set him apart as a true icon of the genre. Despite criticism and controversy, Coe's commitment to his craft and refusal to compromise his artistic vision has cemented his reputation as a trailblazer and renegade in the music industry. Coe's career reflects his tenacity, originality, and unwavering determination to make music on his terms, from his humble beginnings to his achievements as a renowned musician. Beyond his songs, Coe's legacy is defined by his larger-than-life personality and ability to fascinate listeners on stage. His live performances were legendary, making an indelible impression on everyone who had the opportunity to see them. Despite personal struggles and losses, Coe's legacy stands as a monument to the power of authenticity and artistic expression. his influence may still be felt in today's music, motivating innumerable artists to accept their authentic selves and push the frontiers of creativity. David Allan Coe is no longer with us, but his legacy lives on in the hearts and minds of music lovers all across the world. Thank you for watching. See you again soon.